What is going on, everyone? Platinum Beast coming at you with yet another video today. Today we're going to be talking about synthetic artificial platinum. Yes, synthetic artificial platinum. Does it exist? Can it actually occur? Is that even a thing, Platinum Beast? Well, we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, everybody, so synthetic artificial platinum. This is a topic I never thought I would actually have to consider, because a lot of people talk about precious metals as being very rare, the earth only has so much, you could fill a swimming pool, yada, yada, yada. But can they be artificially recreated? If you know anything about diamonds, you know there's lab-created diamonds and there's natural diamonds, and they're almost exactly the same. Now, a professional jeweler can probably tell the difference, but 99.9% of the population cannot. And so, with that being said, what about precious metals? Can they be synthesized? Can they be recreated? Can they be artificially procured? Well, the simple answer to that is yes, they can be recreated. Now, it's not as simple as just, yes, they can be recreated, put a bunch of stuff into a pot, heat it up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, let it melt together, and boom, you have platinum, gold, silver, whatever you're looking for, right? It's not as simple as that. And it requires much more of a process than diamonds, okay? It requires a lot more money to produce precious metals than diamonds. And realistically, it's not feasible under any circumstances whatsoever. Now, when I was doing research on this, the reason that I decided to make a video talking about this is because I believe I had multiple viewers actually leave comments on my channel saying, hey, Platinum Beast, what are your thoughts on synthetic platinum? Have you heard about synthetic platinum? Synthetic platinum, synthetic platinum, synthetic platinum. So I was like, well, I'd never heard of that, and I'd never even considered it as an option or even something that was possible, but apparently it is. And so when I was doing research, the best answer I could find to that question about synthetic platinum and if it's even a thing was actually from this website where people just, all they do is ask questions. It's called Quora. Maybe you've heard of it. I had never heard of it. I just did a simple Google search on synthetic platinum and tried to find what I could. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase the answer here on the screen so y'all can see it. And we are going to sort of read through it and discuss it a little bit. Full credit to this random person who decided to answer this question online because, and I know what some of y'all are probably going to say. Some of y'all are probably going to say, well, how can you trust, some random schmo on the internet? Well, you can't really, but a lot of what he says makes sense. So I'm just going to read through it real quick and we're going to discuss it. So I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm going to read through it. This is coming from a random guy on the internet named Bill Cravens. And the question that was asked was, can silver be artificially created? But this applies to all precious metals, realistically speaking, right? I would assume it's even more difficult for platinum given its density and its just sturdiness. But we can kind of apply this to all precious metals. So he said, yes, in a reactor or a particle accelerator, probably by a bombardment of cadmium, Cd, or tin, Sn. Target to knock loose one or more protons from the nucleus, similar to the process by which it has been proposed that gold could be synthesized from mercury or bismuth. Okay, so basically what you're taking is you're taking other elements from the elemental chart and turning them into gold or silver. I assume platinum could have the same sort of thing. However, as many here have explained in the past, such processes are slow and extremely expensive. Accelerators bombard small targets with very high speed particles, and although the detection equipment can be very readily determine what new atoms were produced, the amounts involved are usually far too small to be seen. Consider that just a microgram, a 1/1,000,000th of a gram of silver. Okay, so you're talking about an absolute speck, okay? You're talking about the smallest amount you can even fathom. So, too small to be seen without a microscope, contains nearly 10 to the 16th atoms of silver. Therefore, any process that produces silver atoms, one at a time, so to speak, by smacking other atoms with subatomic particles is going to take either a long time to build up a visible amount of the new element, or it's going to take a tremendous amount of energy, like in a supernova explosion, or in the collision of two neutron stars, etc. Now, I really like what he said at the very bottom of his comment. He describes this as God's methods, with exploding and colliding stars. Certainly puts on a better show, if you're viewing it from a distance anyway, and the yield is much better, trillions of tons instead of a paltry collection of a few atoms. But then God's backyard is a lot bigger than ours, yes? So, what's going on here? So, can we recreate platinum, gold, silver? It looks like, theoretically, we could. However, the amount of money, the amount of energy and resources and everything required to do it is so astronomical, it's not feasible almost under any given circumstances. The world would have to be literally dying, and we would have to be literally out of platinum, and we would just have no other option than to make our own, and we'd probably just take whatever the Earth had left of resources and put it towards platinum just to survive one more day. So realistically speaking, I don't see this as a threat. A lot of people have been talking about it and discussing it, but I don't see this as a feasible threat under really any circumstances to recreate precious metals, whether it's gold or silver or platinum, right? It's just not feasible. And it's actually pretty amazing to think about the process existing. However, it's so far out of reach that, as this gentleman in Quora said, only God himself can sort of create such a phenomenon, right? If you don't believe in God, that's totally cool. But, even if you don't, you got to admit there's something amazing about how all of this came to be. So, with that being said, personally, I don't feel that platinum is threatened by recreation or synthetic, and I'm going to keep stacking it, one of the rarest metals on Earth, more rare than gold and silver, and just overall a phenomenal metal to have in your stack. And I think every stacker should have it. So that's my thoughts and opinions on synthetic platinum, what I think about the idea of it being a sort of threat to stacking platinum, to stacking other precious metals as well. You can really apply this to any precious metal. I'm not really worried about it. I don't think it's going to be a very big thing. May it happen at some point in the future just to say it happened? Sure. I could see someone creating a little bit just to say they were able to create a little bit. Now, one last caveat I want to kind of talk about here as far as synthetic platinum is right now the cost to produce it is so astronomical, it seems unattainable almost at all, right? Now, one thing we know about technology is it advances over time and it gets better over time, right? This iPhone I'm recording this video on would have cost $1 billion back in 1910 if it were even able to be created, right? That's being sort of fictitious a little bit, but you get what I'm saying, right? This iPhone today is $1,000 or whatever, and 100 years from now, it'll be like $1 at some novelty gift shop, right? As, oh, here's an old iPhone that doesn't work, you can't use it anymore, but it's like almost worthless, but maybe just buy it as a prank or something. Whatever the case may be, because it'll be so insignificant to whatever we have of that time that nobody's going to want it, and so it will almost be worthless, right? Because whatever new has come out, that's $1,000 or whatever the inflation rate is, that is what everyone's going to want, and this iPhone is not going to be what everyone wants. So technology advances, and could we see technology get cheap enough to create platinum? We could, but I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime or any of y'all's lifetimes. So with all that being said, those are my thoughts on synthetic platinum. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. If I didn't hit on something specific you were looking for as far as synthetic platinum, let me know that down below as well. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button so you can always stay up to date with future updates on the Platinum Beast channel. With all that being said, till next time, we'll see y'all.